right, so since my recent new segment got actually pretty good reception, I decided to do not one but two of this segment called "What Would They Listen To?" This is basically a segment, for those who don't know, is where I look at a bunch of characters and be like, okay, this character looks like that, and that sort of fan of this type of music, and this would be the type of music you would expect to hear that on their playlist. So let's get on with it, with starting with Superman. What would be on Superman's playlist? Well, there's a lot of things that could be on there, but I personally believe that Superman, since he's come back from a country background, Smallville, very simple place, I think a lot of his music would be stuff like, Conway Twitty or Johnny Cash, or a lot of, classic country. I could just imagine Superman just listening to that music over the radio and just listening from Jonathan and Martha Kent listening to that music while, working in the field or stuff like that, and just kind of growing on him. I can also see Superman as a Bob Dylan fan. I can definitely see Superman listening to some Bob Dylan, or maybe even a little of the Doors. I can see a little bit of the fan of the Doors in there. I could even see him, Superman being a fan of Elvis Presley, Buddy Holly, a lot of classic rock and roll, but a lot of it more or less classic country and stuff like that. But I could see some classic rock and roll in there as he was growing up more. So, yeah, that's just a few things I could see on Superman's playlist. Now, as for, let's see, let's go to Green Lantern. Let's go to Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, I'm not even joking, I definitely believe Hal Jordan would be a... I can absolutely see Hal Jordan as a fan of Kenny Loggins. I can definitely see him, playing Danger Zone as he's flying into a battle zone with the Justice League. And I could just see him looking over to Flash and being like, Barry, Danger Zone. If you caught that reference, yay. But yeah, among other things I could see Hal being a fan of. I could see Hal being a fan of, like, I could see him being a fan of some new age rock, like the Foo Fighters. I could see him being a fan of a lot of it. Actually, for some reason, he strikes me as an 80s fan. So again with the Kenny Loggins thing, but I could again see him as a Foo Fighters fan. But among the other things, a lot of 80s music. Like I could see like Flock of Seagulls in his repertoire. I could see Depeche Mode. I can see there was another band. Like I could even see Devo in his playlist, in Hal's playlist. But what else? That's pretty much a lot for Hal right there. I think that's enough right there for Hal. Let's move on to Wonder Woman. Now, Wonder Woman's a little tough because Diana comes from a culture of Amazons, so that is a tough one right there. That's gonna be a ringer for me. However, since Diana comes from a world of, men, she went to the world of men, maybe she picked up some of the music. And I could see, like, believe it or not, I could see Wonder Woman kicking back and listening to some Stevie Nicks. I swear, she could be listening to, like, Sheryl Crow, or, like, more so Stevie Nicks and Pat Benatar. She strikes me as a Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, and Pat Benatar, Jonah Jett. A lot of classic girl rock. I could see that because I think she would look at these women and be like, their songs are so empowering and all that. I think she'd be interested in that. I think she'd be a lot interested in like Joan Jett and a lot of those kind of rocks. Like I could definitely see Wonder Woman enjoying. I could see her just kicking back and listening to I Love Rock and Roll. That's just personally me though. But among other things, I could see Diana also being a fan of, classical Greek music, a lot of operatic or, folk, a lot of classical Greek music, because that's her heritage from Themyscira, so I could see a lot of that in there. So that's just a little for that. Let's go to Barry Allen. Let's go to Barry. Now, Barry Allen. Barry strikes me now. Before I'm not going to make a speed metal joke. So, yeah, that's out of the way. So, speed metal joke out of the way. Again, I like with Superman, I could see him as a fan of The Doors or Bob Dylan, or along with those. I could see those being in the top of Barry's musical repertoire. But, I could, Barry's another tough one. You see, the whole Justice League has been really tough on me, except Green Lantern. But among other things I could see, the Flash listening to is, I had it in my head, but I could see him listening to some classic Kiss. I could see him being a Kiss fan. Same goes for Green Lantern. I could see him also enjoying Kiss as well. I could also see Barry really being a fan of, and again, I think this would qualify for, actually, no, I think this would qualify for Oliver more. That I could see, let's move on to Oliver, because he's a little more easier in my opinion. In Flash, I think I got enough for him. But for Green Arrow, I could see, like, Poison, and, I could see Poison, a lot of 80s hair metal, like Skid Row, and, Motley Crue, and just a lot of, like, 80s hair metal. Oliver just strikes me as an 80s hair metal guy, and also I could see him listening to, like, Foreigner and Van Halen, a lot of those kind of bands, because Oliver strikes me as that kind of, he strikes me with that kind of attitude of his. I can see him listening to that and just kicking back and listening to that kind of music, for the most part. So, who else do I want to talk about on here? Let's go to Aquaman. Aquaman's another tough one, because the thing is that even though he's Atlantean, he spent a lot of his time on the surface world. So, that being said, I think he would acquire some taste for a lot of surface world music. So, in that regard, again, the Justice League has been really tough on me, because I've been, I think like I said, the only easy ones were Green Arrow and Green Lantern. So, oh boy. Aquaman. What would Aquaman listen to? Let's throw out the village people jokes right now, because that's not happening. I'd be willing to bet that Aquaman would be a fan of a lot of seafaring music. A lot of seafaring music, because, he grew up in a harbor-type town, and his father was a sea captain, so I can imagine him listening to a lot of sea shanty music. Can't talk today. So that would be definitely in his repertoire. So that's the best way I could describe Aquaman. Martian Manhunter. Let's go to John Jones. Now, it's kind of funny, because I posed this question to a couple friends of mine, and my dad actually had commented on the question as well. He says that he could see Martian Manhunter being a fan of Rammstein. I don't know how he got that, but okay. I guess John Jones was in a transitional point in his life, and I guess he was trying to acquire some taste. But seriously, though, I think, since John Jones stayed on Earth for a while, I think his time on Earth, I think he would acquire taste for a lot of operatic music, as well as I could see him being a fan of Chopin, Mozart, Sebastian Bach, and a lot of stuff that would just calm his nerves, like something he could listen to while he's meditating, or while he's up in the watchtower monitoring everything. I think that would be the kind of music he would listen to, or just sitting back and eating some Oreos along with. He would just be kicking back and eating Oreo cookies and dunking them in milk while listening to Mozart. But I could see him also enjoying a few musicals here and there, a lot of big operas. I could see John Jones being that, because he looks that kind of person. He's not. I could see him just having an off time, just shape-shifting into a random person and going to a big operatic theater. He looks like that kind of. He would enjoy that kind of stuff. So yeah. Now you're probably wondering, why didn't I include Batman in this list? Well, I think Batman isn't a music person to begin with. I think he's he's so driven by his job, and plus, like I said, this whole list was pretty tough on me. So, yeah, and a lot of people did, when I asked this question, a lot of people kind of went like, a few of my friends, when I was telling them about this, and we were kind of all brainstorming on all this, they were like, damn, I can't think of a single thing for Batman. And we all kind of came to the conclusion, you know what, Batman's not a music person. He wouldn't be listening to that kind of stuff. Yeah. But actually, let me backtrack for a bit, because I think I got a few more ideas to what, I think also what John Jones would listen to. I think he would also be a fan of smooth jazz. I honestly think he would go to these little clubs and just listen to, some saxophone playing or trumpets, or I could see him going to the House of Blues when B.B. King's around. Yeah, I could definitely see. I can see John Jones enjoying some B.B. King or some Otis Redding or even some swing. I could see John Jones enjoying some like Big Bag Voodoo Daddy or stuff like that. Anyway, I think I've pretty much covered this. Again, I didn't really go with Batman because, well, I don't really think Batman's a music person. And plus, you're probably wondering, well, why didn't you go with Cyborg or the other members of the Justice League? I would be here all day if I did. Because the Justice League has a pretty big list. So I just kept with the major members. And don't worry, I will come back to Justice League and talk about the other members like the Atom, Hawkman, Stargirl, and all of them. And if you're wondering why I didn't put Cyborg on this list, is because I've always been a supporter of Cyborg as Teen Titans. And I'm not saying, oh, he should stay young forever. What I mean is, he should have been a Teen Titan member first, then part of the Justice League. I haven't been really agreeing with that, whole spiel of, oh, he should just go right to Justice League. I kind of like the growth and experience with him, so... Yeah, but that's just me, though. If you think differently, that's totally fine. No ill will against you, but... Yeah, so I didn't include Cyborg or Batman in this one. Sorry. And don't worry, I will go back to the rest of the Justice League eventually later on down the road. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys tell me, who do you guys think, out of the Justice League, what kind of music do you think they'll listen to, out of anything? So I'm really... I am really curious to see what you guys come up with for this one. This is a very interesting segment. I got a very good, not a bad turnout for the first time, so I was really glad that people had enough faith. I had enough faith in this to decide to do two tonight. Yeah, so you're going to be getting another one, and that one is going to focus on the Marvel side with the Avengers. And again, I probably won't talk about every single Avenger right off the bat. I'll just talk about some major, of course, the major ones, and then kick off into, and then, not kick off, excuse me. What I mean is, I'll talk about, of course, the major Avengers like Thor and Captain America and Iron Man, but I'll save the other Avengers for later on, like other members of the team, and then I'll do other stuff, like X-Men and all that. But I have to stress once again that please don't give... this is my personal thing. Not to be a jerk, I just like doing this myself, so please don't send me like mountains and mountains of suggestions for, what characters you'd like to see listened to. Don't worry, I will get to all types. It won't be just comic book. As you can tell from if you saw the first one, it had Stormhawks. So, yeah. I'll pick out ones, and this segment will be around, and I'm really glad people like it. So yeah. Anyway, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I can't wait to see what you guys have too. What do you guys think the Justice League would have on their playlists? Anyway, so yeah, I'm out.